So when I was young, at uni, I had like a clique of people that I used to chill with, and obviously it was a mixture of boys and girls. And whenever we used to sleep in each other's rooms, and it just so happens that this guy, we would sleep in his room, and there was this one time where I was like half asleep, and I was sleeping on a mattress, because that's how students roll, and he was sleeping on the bed next to me, and then all of a sudden I feel his hand down my top, and I'm just like, because obviously I'm half asleep, so I'm just like, okay, all right, is this a dream? And then I kind of woke up, and I deep like his hand, and his hand was still there, and I was just like, what's going on here? And then I had to leave the room and go back to my room. So it was weird because I wasn't really awake, but yeah, it was just like I was in shock. It was a combination of shock and sadness and deeping that, hang on, this is inappropriate behavior. We're supposed to be cool. Okay, maybe you're older than me, maybe you're finer than me, but that doesn't give you the excuse to kind of, touch me in a way that I don't approve. So for me, it was sad. And because I was young, I didn't really know what was going on. I was just like, I couldn't really tell anybody. So I mean, this is the first real time that I've ever actually said it out loud. So I'm just like, oh, swear down. But yeah, it was mad. It was mad.
So there's been so many stories. I'll probably tell you one where I was working with this guy for many years. He was like a father figure, and I was about 17. And I was working, to be fair, it was quite professional. I did a bit of glamour modelling as well, but I just felt like it was a bit more of like self-expression, a bit of art for me. And then as I got older, work started picking up, and we started doing other things like blogging and everything else. So I really didn't have time to be doing like photo shoots just for the fun of it, and because we had so much work going on, so many things to do that it didn't really interest me anymore. And then what I found out was like those pictures were more like personal, and then it became a bit creepy. And then he like made a move on me, and I must have been like 21 by then. So he's known me since I was 17. So I don't even know how many years is that, 18, 19, 20, 21. So 4 years. And so I felt like he was kind of like prepping me, like, when you're young and naive and you look at someone, you think, oh, they know everything, and etc. So yeah, he made a move at me. I just got up and left, and I just like ran out the room. But yeah, it was like very awkward, and I didn't like it. And then things went really left after that. So our business relationship deteriorated.
The example I'm going to speak about is a recent one, when I was doing like a hospitality shift at the Oval. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but I was working, serving people drinks, food, and there was a guy, he was like a manager of that particular kiosk. And initially he walked behind me a bit too close. So I was just like, okay, that was, a bit too close, but maybe I was like, okay, maybe there wasn't that enough space. And then I just kept checking every time he walked past me, because he kept really walking really close to me, like on my booty basically. And at some point there was some girl standing next to me, and I had to look to make sure, like, and then he wasn't walking that close to them. I was like, why is he doing that? Like, why? And then he just kept doing it. Every time he walked past me, he was basically just doing like grinding on like my behind. And towards the end of the shift, or close towards the end of the shift, because I wasn't sure, I was like, is this happening? Am I imagining it? Why can I feel his parts on my booty? I'm meant to be working. I was confused. I didn't know if I could say something. I don't know if I should say something. I just didn't know if it was really happening. So I was just confused. And towards the end of the shift, what to me confirmed it is because we were signing out some paperwork or something, and this man was standing on top of me. I was like, okay. I was like, sorry, can you just sign me out, please? And he just signed me out, and I just didn't know who to talk to, because I'm working through an agency. I'm like, they don't have like a guideline on how you report sexual harassment. Like, what do you do? So yeah.
My own experience, I guess, unfortunately, like most women, is one that's quite personal. but also quite general. Like, I think most women are harassed daily, and some men as well. So I say my own experience with sexual harassment was something that happened to me when I was a teenager, in which it took me a while to understand that it wasn't my fault.
I've had a number of experiences with sexual harassment, even just going from secondary school all the way up to my adult life. Secondary school, whether it being boys like blocking me in a corner, touching up my breast, touching up my bum, telling them to stop, trying to get out of the situation, them knowing that they're stronger than you and they're blocking you in that corner, and you feel like you can't do anything. You don't feel like you can tell the teachers, you don't feel like you can tell your mum because you're scared of what they'll say. Also being harassed by men, even on public transport. I remember there was one occasion where the tube was packed, but then there was a point where I think we got to like Liverpool Street or something, and I could still feel this man. Up to that, I could feel him like pressing up against me the whole time, just pressing up his groin against me. Obviously I had my elbows like just trying to keep him away from my body. Got to Liverpool Street, and I was just focusing on my phone and everything, and then I realised the car, like, it was quite empty, but this man was still up against me, and I turned around and the whole carriage was empty and he was still pressed up against me, and I literally elbowed him. But in that instant I just moved away, but my heart was beating. I felt violated, and I could actually feel him, and it's just one of those things where you feel like it's just disgusting.
It's been a lot, really, to be honest. Everything. I think, you know, when I was younger, when I was about 15, a guy tried to force himself on me. So that, I mean, it started from, I'd say, about 14, 15. Anything from something serious that you would say is attempted rape, basically, up onto everything like harassment or being constantly bothered or assaulted, which would be basically grabbing someone, touching someone against their own will, like touching a person, like assaulting them. So, you know, for example, you might be in the street, or you might be, I don't know, in the bar, social spaces. Like I've been in situations where I get pulled quite violently, to be fair. I've had, even been on a train in rush hour, there's enough space, why are you here on me like that? And yeah, all sorts of situations. I've been stalked. I've had stalk at work. Again, I was about 17. I've been followed. I mean, yeah, probably had, quite a lot. And yeah, it's been continuous all my life, really, I think.